me see. I don't know who those who join. Let me see. Hope this thing show.
Have you guys started?
We are live.
You're live, Abby? Okay. I did on my way now to the office. So I'll join you now. Well, how many people is in the studio? Hello, Samson.
Hello, Musin. Good afternoon. Welcome to the session. So we'll be kickstarting the session in a few minutes time. Just need to wait for some other person who will need to join us to be in. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone joining us. If you can hear me, please type on the chat. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone joining us. If you can hear me, please type on the chat. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone joining us. If you can hear me, please type on the chat. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone joining us. If you can hear me, please type on the chat. Good afternoon, Pick. How are you doing today? So please, can we just type in the chat where we are connecting from? Good afternoon, Pick. How are you doing today? So please, can we just type in the chat where we are connecting from? Okay, so we'll be kickstarting now. Welcome once again to this LinkedIn Live event. So this session will be looking at the best tips to ace our AFM Level 1 certification exam, and my colleague Baba Tope, a master trainer in financial modeling, will be taking us through this session. So I would like to call on Baba Tope to please kickstart the session. Hello, Baba Tope, can you hear me?
Yeah, thank you very much, Samson. I can hear you loud and clear.
All
Can you
right.
hear me as well?
Yeah, I can hear you. So you can proceed with the session while some other persons catch up with us.
All right, thank you very much for that, Samson. And good day to every one of us. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're joining us from. So if you can hear me loud and clear, you can just type yes in the chat.
Hello, Baba Tope, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me as well?
All right. Yeah, I can hear you. So you can proceed with the session while some other persons catch up with us.
Yeah, I got that. I got that. So if you can hear me loud and clear, you can just type yes in the chat. Us. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're joining us from. So if you can hear me loud and clear, you can just type yes in the chat.
Hello, Baba Tope, can you hear me?
Something you want to mute yourself? I can hear some echo there. Yeah, as well. Right, thank you very much, and you're welcome to our Financial Modeling LinkedIn Live series. This is the first of its kind, and then I hope you're going to enjoy it. But before we dive into the session proper, I would like to hear from us. How many of us have heard about financial modeling before? If you've heard about financial modeling before, just type yes, and if not, just type no. If you've heard about financial modeling before, just type yes in the chat, and if not, type no. You've heard about the concept financial modeling, or maybe at a point or the other, you've built a financial model before or a model. Just type yes in the chat. Okay, Park said no. So I'm still expecting others as well. Just a quick survey of my audience. You've built a financial model before, or you've heard about the financial mode, you've heard about financial modeling before, just type yes, and if not, you can just type no. Right? I think I can only see one response there. All right, let's just dive into the session. Once again, you are all welcome to a financial modeling LinkedIn live series. Today, I will be taking us through the best tips that will guide you to ace your FMI Level 1 certification exam. Why I know that some of us don't have basic knowledge of financial modeling based on the quick survey I just did now. I'm also going to be taking us through some brief concepts, some knowledge that you need to know about financial modeling. But before then, just a brief introduction of who we are at Dibran Consulting. At Dibran Consulting, we help organizations to achieve more with their data. Then we do this in real time. We have two arms. We have the training arm as well as the consulting arm. For our training, we have a unique methodology that we use to run our training, which we call the 4 A's. The 4 A's, we always start with an assessment, you have an awareness, you have an assimilation, and then we also have an application. In that application, that is when we get to know how well you're making use of the skill that you have learned during our training. We also do consulting as well. We develop agile business processes and then solution for complaints. And for our trainings, we have a platform where we use to carry out our training. That is our learning management system, which is our office training hub. You can log into the office training hub for you to have just a glimpse of for you to take a look at the courses that we have. Today, what are things that we'll be looking at today? Very quickly, well, it's not a training, right? So I'm not here to train us or maybe to facilitate a session, but then to make you understand things around financial modeling as well as how you can ace the exam as well. When you want to take the exam, how do you want to ace? How are you going to ace the exam? Well, Irene, is it Irene? I hope I got your name correctly. You also said no. So I'm going to try to ensure that I give you a fundamental knowledge of what financial modeling is all about. And then with this, you can as well kickstart your career in financial modeling. So very quickly, I'll be looking at just a brief about financial modeling. What is even financial modeling? The first time I heard about financial modeling, what came to my mind is model. You see people that are models, right? And they go for beauty pageant and all of that. That was what came to my mind. And then later, as when I got to know more about it, I was like, okay, to become a financial modeler, what do I really need? Do I really need to know all of this Excel formula? Do I really need to be able to have deep knowledge of accounting? What are the basic things that I need to know? These I'll be sharing with you today. And then in line with this, we try to understand the component of a financial model as well. What are those things that you need to see before you can call anything a financial model? If you see a lady, it is very easy for you to identify that, oh, this is a lady because of those structure, because of those body structure, because of those physique. That will help you to identify that, oh, this is a man and this is a woman. And in line with that, once you've understood what financial modeling is, the component of a financial model, there's also a need for you to now understand the rationale behind building a model. Why do we even need to build a model? What is the essence of building a model? Also, knowing how to build a model is very nice, but then when you are certified to be a modeler, let me say that is the necessary. It is actually necessary for you to know it, but then it is not sufficient. Economists or maybe some in accounting, they will always say they have a necessary but not sufficient stuff. So it is necessary for you to have the knowledge, but then you being certified to become a financial modeler, that is what is actually sufficient. So today I will also be taking us through the modeling standard as well as certification, and I will be sharing with us some tips that will guide you to ace the financial modeling exam. For those that will still be joining us in the course of this session, I will be sharing with us some tips that will help you to ace this exam. That is for those who maybe they have knowledge of financial modeling and they are preparing for the exam. So some tips I'm going to share with us. But then let's get started and look at what financial modeling really is. When we talk of financial model, financial model is actually a tool that you build in Excel. The tool that will make use of to build our model is Excel. People call it spreadsheet. And the basic objective is for you to solve a problem. You want to make decision. It all revolves around you making decision. So in making that decision, there's a need for you to build a model. You want to predict to the future. You want to forecast. You want to understand how your business is performing. There is actually a need to build a model. So a very simple definition that I would like to work with here at Dibram Consulting is this: that the financial model is a tool that is usually built with a spreadsheet. When you say spreadsheet, that is the Microsoft Excel, right? Where some people build it on Google Sheets as well. Yes, that's nice. But what we use is the Microsoft Excel, and basically is to solve a problem. And that is what it's all about. Whatever model that you want to build, it must have an objective, and this objective is towards you solving a problem. And in line with this, there's also a need for it to have components. Remember that I told us earlier that when you see a particular thing, there is a need for you to Okay, there are some things that you see in something before you can call it that name. Now, let me even ask us, let me ask us, when you see a car, what makes you call it a car, right? You see just an object moving. What are those things that you see before you can say, oh, this is a car? You can just type in the charts so that I'll be sure that I have people that are also following as well. So, what are those things that you need to see before you call something a car? Maybe you call it motor car or a vehicle or something. So, what are those things that you need to see? Let's just type in the chat. So, I'm expecting our responses. When you see a car, what are those things that you need to see before you call something a car? All right. Samson, I hope they have access to the chat. I can't see anyone or I can't hear from anyone. So please just type in the chat when you hear a car. What are those things that you need to see before you call something a car? Right. I'm still expecting us. I want to be sure that at least people are following as well. Just type in the chat. What are those things that you need to see before you call something a car? So when I say car, that is CAR. What are those things that you need to see? Well, I'm not sure I'm getting any response. I can't see any response from anyone. Something, can you hear me? Just want to be sure that people can hear me loud and clear.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. I seem not to get response from anyone. Is there a way you can confirm that people have access to the chat?
Yes, they do. They have access to the chats. Yeah.
All right. So if you can hear me loud and clear, please go to the chat and tell us what are those things that you need to see before you call something a car. Right. I can't seem to have any response, but then let's just continue. So basically, for your model, you need your input. Because that's on your input page. That is where you have your assumptions. What are the things that's going to drive your model? You list all your variables out. Then you have the calculation as well. That calculation is what they call the engine room because it is in the engine room that's where you're going to perform your calculation. That's where you're going to build all your schedules, right? All those calculations that you need to bring them into your model. And then it is also the calculation worksheet that will link both your inputs, it will link it to your what? I mean, it feeds into your output. So it links to your input and then it feeds to your output. It is now in the output. It is in the output. That's where you have your financial statement, and maybe you now want to perform bit of analysis and all of that. I can see that we have someone who is an ACA in the house. So I just want you to tell me what are the financial statements, what are the type of financial statements that you know. Just type in the chat. What are the kinds of financial statement that you know? Just type in the chat. Yes. Okay, Aaron said engine. Okay, so when is a type of financial statement? I know we have about 5 of them according to the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. There are about five of them. But then just tell me one. Okay, most likely there's a bit of lag there. Maybe there's a lag in you hear me and the response as well. All right, so when you talk of financial statement, you can talk of your income statements. That is also what people call the profit and loss account. You can talk of the balance sheet as well. You can check out the balance sheet. That is what it's also known as the statement of financial position. And then you can also talk of the cash flow statement as well, right? The cash flow statement where you see the inflow and the outflow of cash. And I told us as well that from there you can now perform your analysis. Now there are different reasons why people build model. Just as I've told us that it all revolves around you making decision. You want to make decision about valuation. You want to understand the value of a company. You want to know if this company is undervalued or overvalued. You want to forecast. You want to predict what is going to happen in the future. You want to also evaluate how your business is performing. You want to see how your business is operating. Is this business operating efficiently? Is this business operating optimally? Those are those things, those insights that you really want to get. And then this will now guide you in forecasting, in predicting what is going to happen in the future, right? You're going to look at your historical performance, right? When you're planning your model, there's a need for you to look at, okay, this is what has happened in the past. And this will now guide you in now making what? Assumption and predicting what is going to happen in the future. And then when you build the models as well, you can also build a model to manage your credit risk. Of course, businesses, they're exposed to different risk, right? They're exposed to different risk. It could be environmental risk, it could be economical risk, it could be even structural risk, it could be technological risk, a lot of risk, right, that they may be exposed to. Now, there's now a need for you to do what? To manage those risks because there are some risks that you certainly they're going to come, right? But then there's actually a need for you to now manage those risks. So you can also build a model that will guide you as to how you can manage your risk. And then people also build a model to raise capital. Maybe there's a business that you need people to actually invest in. You want to raise capital for your business, then you can actually build a model. This will give a picture out to, okay, this is my business, it is profitable. You use that to sell your idea out, right? And then with that, you'll be able to raise capital for your business. Then you want to perform financial analysis as well, right? Going into the future, you want to see your trend. What's going to be your trend in the next 5 years, right? This will actually help you. Now, with the knowledge of these, right, you've known about what financial modeling is, you've understood the components of a financial model, and then you've also understood why people build a model. Now, there's now a need for you to now take a step further, right? With the knowledge of that, there's a need for you to take a step further. Now, one thing is having knowledge of something, and then another side of it is that you are certified to do it. It's just like a two side of a coin. You know, you say somebody has a knowledge to do something, and then on the other side of it, the person has a certificate to actually show for it that, oh, I'm certified to do this thing. Financial modeling is a discipline on its own as well, right? It is a profession on its own, and then it's also have modeling standard and certification. And this certification is in three phases. You have the level one, which is the AFM, they call it Advanced Financial Modeler. Then you also have the level two as well, which is the CFM, they call it the Chartered Financial Modeler. And then the level three as well, which is the Master Financial Modeler. Today I'll be speaking about the first level, which is the AFM. When you talk about the FMI Level 1 exam, that is the AFM. But then I'm just going to give us a brief as to the other two levels as well. However, all these three levels, they are independent of one another. What I mean is that when you are certified to become a financial, when you've written the AFM, of course, you are an advanced financial moodler. You are certified to be what, a moodler. Now, when you now proceed to now write the CFM, then you are now certified to become a chartered financial moodler. And then the third one, which is the master financial moodler, then when you now write the exam, then you're certified to become the master financial modeler. The AFM focuses on the fundamental skills that you actually require to design and build a fully integrated model. So they're going to give you a case study where you need to build a model from scratch, right? And with that, you'll be able to test your knowledge of you building a fully integrated financial forecast model. Then the second one is the CFM, which I say it is the Chartered Financial Model. It will take you through a deep and broad knowledge of the advanced corporate finance, talk of project economics, talk of valuation, talk of capital structure. You're looking at merger and acquisition, as well as some data manipulation topics as well. And the third level, which is the MFM. This one, it actually tests your mastery, right? Do you have a mastery of some advanced topic and specialization, right? When you want to build some specialization in maybe real estate, you talk of digital technology, talk of supply chain, talk of private equity, healthcare, industrial markets, and the likes of that. And this exam, when the market based on the fast standard, they have this fast standard. You know, they say there is this saying that where there is no, is it where there is no law, there is no sin? Or is it where there is no rule, there is no sin? Either way you want to say it, right? But then, there are some actually laws that actually govern the way we behave. Even in the country, you have your constitutions that you need to live by. And whatever, even in our corporate organizations, right? We have the maybe your 10 principles that you talk about. You have your code of conduct. Some people call it ethics, right? That you actually need to follow. So also, when you build a financial model as well, your financial model must be built in line with the fast standard, right? You must build it in the line of fast standard. The lawyers, they have their constitutions that they make use of. And then accountant as well, they have the IFRS, that is International Financial Reporting Standard, that actually guide them when they are presenting and then they are reporting their financial statement. So also financial modeling, they have what they call the FAST standard. And this FAST standard, FAST is not an English word. It's actually an acronym, which implies that F stands for something, A stands for something, S stands for something, and T also stands for something. And then when you say that F there is that your model must be flexible. Whatever model that you build, you need to build a model that is adaptable for both immediate and the longer term use. That is, whosoever wants to make use of your model, the person must be able to run different scenarios. The person wants to see different things that has happened. You might even be presenting to your management, and then your management will say, okay, based on what you presented, you've said that our revenue is going to grow by 3% in this particular period. Now they now want to see what if the revenue grew by 5%. And then you don't want to be now be changing and changing. So there's a need for you to build different scenarios. And then you also want to build sensitivity in your model as well. So if your model is flexible, it will allow you to make all of these modification. Also, your model should be appropriate. Models, they are representation of reality. You should not overbuild your model. When you have some spurious perceptions or assumptions on your model, that could be distracting. It could actually be misleading. So whatever model that you build, ensure that that model is appropriate. Also ensure that your model is well structured. Your model needs to be able to maintain or retain its integrity over time. Whenever you build your model, ensure that you have a consistent layout, right? Across your worksheets or across the workbook, ensure that you have a consistent layout. Also, your model must be transparent Models are not there. You don't build model to test your Excel skills, right? So that's not the reason why you build model. You see, some people when they build model, they bring in gigantic formulas. They'll say if this, if inside this, and all of that. And by the time they want to audit that model, even themselves, they will have forgotten those cheats or maybe those cells that they've connected together or they've linked to, right, to get those formulas. Some of them, it will even be difficult for them to audit that formula. According to the fast standard, they said whatever formula that you're going to input in your model should be such that you'll be able to explain under 24 seconds. And this was at count of 24 seconds, you must be able to do what? Give an explanation to whatsoever formula that you have in your model. So whatever model that you build, make sure that your model is simple. Make sure that you have a very clear formula in your model, and then make sure that it's a model that is easy to audit as well. Don't have a model that is too long. Now, what are the tips? I told us earlier that you having knowledge of this, there's also a need for you to do what, to be certified to do it, so that you can easily go out there and see that, oh, you have certificate, you have a proof that you are a financial modeler. Now, what are those tips that can help you to ace this level one exam? And then when I say level one exam, that is the AFM exam. What are those things that will help you or will guide you to actually pass this exam? Now, in passing this exam, when you ask people that, oh, what are those tips, what are those things that they need, people will tell you that number one is time, that, oh, it's because I spend longer time building the model. That's the reason why I've not been able to excellently get myself to be prepared for this exam, or maybe that's why they failed the exam and all of that. Well, maybe or maybe not. Of course, it's something that people will tell you. Even a motivational speaker can easily tell you that, oh, your time, you need to work on your time and all of that. But then there's more to you actually preparing for this exam. Also, people talk of keyboard shortcut as well. Keyboard shortcut is also nice. That is what people say. And then even yourself, you know that, of course, when you make use of keyboard shortcut, that will actually save you some time, right? To do some certain things. Also, people will talk of you having a quiet place, a serene place where you can take the exam so that there won't be any form of distraction. I know of a friend when he wanted to write this exam, he had to book an hotel to actually take the exam. You understand? That was what he did because he needed a quiet place, he needed a place that he won't be distracted and then will be able to concentrate fully. And then people also tell you that practice and practice. Of course, why it is good for you to practice, the question that we need to ask ourselves is, how do you need to practice? When you are practicing, how do you need to practice? And in practicing, the first tip that I'll be sharing with you is that you need to have a working knowledge of the financial modeling body of knowledge. I said working knowledge of the financial modeling body of knowledge. And this is what I have here. This is what it looks like, right? So you having a knowledge of the AFM body of knowledge will actually help you to ace the exam. And it's just subdivided into, I think, about 5 categories. I'm just going to run us through it very shortly. And the first one is the financial modeling best practices, right? I told us earlier that financial modeling is actually a discipline on its own, it's a profession on its own. And then you need to also have a knowledge of the model attributes as well. This model attribute, you can see it as a subset of the first standard that I've discussed with us. And these attributes, they are just subdivided into six, just 6 of them. And then the first one is that your model should be dynamic. And then when you say your model is dynamic, which is still under the flexible, you can still tie it under the flexible. That is that you must be able to make changes to your assumption properly, right? Those assumptions that flows in through your model. And that is why you call it a model, because you can easily make what changes to those your assumptions. You want to see different scenarios that can actually interplay in your model. And the second one is that it must be flexible, right? You want to make your model so that it is easy for you to expand. You want to make a modification both in the short term as well as in the longer term as well. Also, your model must be intuitive, right? And then, I told us about your model being appropriate the other time. You see, your model shouldn't be clustered with unnecessary details. People want to actually flow with your model. Your model should flow how people, or should actually uh, be so that people will be able to think through your model, and then they will be able to use it to do their business. They will be able to use it to what? To achieve those decisions that they want to actually make, right? Or to want to actually achieve. And also, it must be transparent. You shouldn't have some hidden formulas there. And also, your model must be printable. Set your model to be printable. In yeah, the brand consulting, we have a course that we take here and that we actually deliver, and we're going to teach you all of this. I'm still going to be sharing some of them with you, but then just for you to know this now, your model should be printable. Make it to be printable, but you set it to be very, very printable, and then also it must be transferable as well. When you build your model, you should be so that you can easily transfer it to another person, and then it is usable by different people. You see, before now, the way people build model is that after building their model, you just copy and paste, right? You just copy and then paste, and then it is not easy for people to actually see what you've done, right? And then some they even do it somehow, right? So your model should be so that you can easily transfer it to some other people, and then they will be able to use it. Now, second tip, number one tip that I told us is that you should have a working knowledge of the AFM body of knowledge. And then secondly, you need to take some preparatory course as well. You need to actually take a preparatory course, because the more you study for these and then you practice for these, the more you have understanding of all you need to actually ace this exam. And here at Different Consulting, we have this our definitive guide. These are definitive prep guide will prepare you, and then you also have whole lot of resources as well that will help you to ace this exam. Let me show you one of the resources that we have, and then we actually help you when you're writing this your exam. So I'm just going to bring that up now, and then I'm going to show you how you can make use of it as well. That is what we call the Moodle exam planner. The modern exam planner is going to help you, right, whenever you are preparing for the exam. You see, some people they will have come to meet, they come to meet me. How long do they need to prepare for this exam? How many hours do they need to prepare for the exam? The truth is that I can't categorically tell you that, okay, it is 2 hours I need to prepare for the exam, it is 3 hours I need to prepare for the exam, or maybe 4 hours. As long or as much as you can actually prepare, please keep preparing. Back then when I was in the university, there was this particular course that I did. I read for about 12 hours. It's just a single course. I read for about 12 hours for me to actually ace this. So also, when you're also preparing for the exam as well, you need some courses that will guide you. So this our definitive guide is actually a very good course that you can take to actually prepare for the exam. In this course, we took a case study and we run you through how you are going to build your model from start to finish. We run you through the case study. I'm still going to show us an example of a case study that we used in our last exam. I'm going to show us that very shortly. But then let's take a look at this. The first one is the AFL Moodle exam planner. And the exam planner is actually very, very good and very useful for you to do. All you need to do, you just come here, enter your name, and what day did you start preparing for the exam? You enter it here, and when is the exam date? You also put that there as well, and then you can always have the interactive checklist, the scoring tools as well as the interactive 8 week study planner. On the checklist, when you look at the checklist, it's going to give you an overview of all those things that you need, body of knowledge that body of knowledge that you actually need have knowledge of, right? That I told us earlier, that body of knowledge that you need to that I said you should have a working knowledge of the body of knowledge. So here we've listed everything out. All you need to do is that, okay, is my am I good with my model with the model features, right? Am I good at this point? So if you are good with this, all you need to do is just to come here and then click on this button and then select, right? So if you select 0, that means that, oh, maybe below, and you can come here, you select 1, that is that you are near it, right? And then when you select 2, that means that, oh, also you've passed it, right? And then also you can have, is your model flexible, intuitive, transparent, that I discussed with us earlier, and then transferable. When you take our AFM mock exam, and then you also take the derivative guide as well, we are going to share this with you for free. But for the AFM exam, it's actually free of charge. You can always come for it, and then we share this with you. And then you go to the next one as well, your model presentation, model presentation as well. So you can always take this as well, how you design and then you also present your model. And then you also need headers and footers as well. You see, when you are designing your model to be in a printable form, right? You want to include some headers and then some footers. In your footers, maybe you want to include your sheet tab there. You want to include that, okay, the pages there, you want to include your pages, and yes, those things that you just want to include in your footer. So all of those things you're also going to see there, and then use this to grade yourself, right? Use this to grade yourself. So this is actually a very good tool that will help you to plan for the exam. Also, you then go to the next one. Look at the style and the formatting. All right, are you now good with the style and the formatting of your model? You also proceed to looking at, is your model, the model that you've built, is it something that is now printable? So if it's something that, oh, you are good with this, okay, get yourself how many minutes did I spend doing this, how many minutes did I spend doing that, and all of that. Just get yourself, okay, maybe just near. And then if you're now good with this, 100%, just put pass. Wow, very good, nice, fine and neat. You're done with that. Also, you need what? The scenario. You see, the financial model as well. When you build it, you need a tab structure, and those are the things that they actually look at. They want to see your cover page. They want to see your executive summary as well, right? They want to see those are your assumptions, your scenarios, as well as your models as well. And in the scenario, and I've talked about the scenario earlier on. Maybe you're looking at the base case, you're looking at the best case, and then maybe the worst case as well, right? So all of these are things I'm going to share with you. I talk about the tab structure. You're looking at your cover, you're looking at the executive summary. Those things that will help you to summarize the key metrics. And you don't necessarily need to overbuild this as well. Maybe what you just have there, that could be maybe your gross profits margin. You want to see your revenue growth as well, and maybe you want to also include maybe you want to include your EBITDA margin as well, right? Just simple things, right? Just include them there as well. Your assumptions, all of those things, right? These are the things that we're going to share with you when you take the course. And secondly, or maybe the third one that I'll be sharing with us now, is that you need to also take a mock exam. You taking a mock exam, we give you a guarantee or an assurance that you are fully ready or prepared to take the exam. You get, so you practicing and then you taking a mock exam, you will actually give you a guarantee that, oh, I'm fully set for this exam. Remember that I told us earlier that when you say you need like 10 hours to prepare or 20 hours to prepare, it's relative. You see some people, it won't even take them maybe 10 hours and they are good. While some people, it will take them more time to actually prepare for the exam. So if you're preparing for the exam, a mock exam is what you can actually take. And here at the Brown Consulting, we'll be hosting our mock exam on the 16th of July 2022. It's between 3 to 6:30. Of course, we know that this exam, the AFM exam itself, the level 1 exam, is for 4 hours. But here at the Brown Consulting, in a mock exam, we just give you 3 hours, 30 minutes. right? 3 hours, 30 minutes to build the exam. And then what I tell people is that, or what we tell people here at different consulting is that practice, practice, practice to the extent that you can even build a model under 2 hours. With that, you have confidence in yourself that, okay, come what may, whatever happens, you are fully set and ready for this exam. So you need to actually test yourself fully and then be ready for the exam. So you can join our mock exam. My colleague is going to share the link in the chat now that you can use to register for the exam. Also, one other thing that you also need to do is for you to do a kind of self-assessment. There's a need for you to keep assessing yourself. Assess yourself, do a kind of self-assessment. And how do you assess yourself? We also have assessment rubrics as well. You can make use of these to actually assess yourself, look at the scoring, what is different category, right? The overall impression, the presentation, your tab structure, the financial statement. Are you good to go there? Your model schedules, are you good to go there? The model construction, are you good to go there as well? We also have the study plan as well, right? Your study plan that you can easily use to set it. Okay, maybe today this is what you're going to be studying. This other day, this is what you're going to be doing. How many days do you want to use to prepare for the exam as well? They will give 8 weeks planner, right? So you can actually get all of that. And these are some of the materials I will be sharing with you when you register for the mock exam, and it's absolutely for free. Our mock exam is for free. However, if you want to really take a step-by-step guide as to how you need to prepare for the exam, then you need to take our definitive guide. That definitive guide is what will actually help you to prepare for the exam, and then we'll take you through step by step on how you need to prepare for the exam. Let me just show you a sample case study of our last exam. Okay, so let me just minimize this and show you something. All right, so let me show you this. Right, so if you're following, just type yes in the chat so that I'll be sure that I have people who are following me as well. So it won't just be only me talking. So if you're following, just type yes, 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 that you are following. Just type yes in the chat if you're following. So just type yes in the chat if you're following. Okay. All right, I just hope people are following me, right? So this is sample of the exam that we do, and then we set here at Debram Consulting. So this is our last mock exam that we did. This is the question. This is the live question. And then if you register for that's our definitive guide, you will have access to all our past the previous mock that we've done, as well as this solution as well. You have access to all of that. But then the mock exam is for free. You can register for it. And then my colleague has also, okay, wow. So they have 40% off the step-by-step guide. That's super. So just take advantage of that to register to take the step-by-step course that will help you in doing the exam. So this is sample case. You see, we've given you all the assumptions that you need to actually use. So this is it. But then we give participants just 3 hours 30 minutes. You know, I told you earlier. We just give them 3 hours 30 minutes, and then it is just similar. It is a prototype of the actual exam that you're also going to write. And then we have two options when you're writing this exam. It's either you take it as a product exam. When you say product exam, that means that you need to share your camera, and you join our live Zoom class, right? Where you're going to take the exam, and then we're going to monitor you through the process of writing the exam. Also, because of time differences as well, we give opportunity for those who want to take the self-paced option. However, if you're taking the self-paced option, don't do it for 8 hours. Make sure that you time yourself for just 3 hours 30 minutes. Try to do it within 3 hours 30 minutes, and when you're done, submit, upload it. When you upload your exam, I mean your is it your trial now? We're going to send you the solution to the to the mock, and then you can always join our review session as well, where you're going to take you through everything that is expected to be done. So all of these is example of our last mock exam that we did as well, just a simulation of the actual mock exam. And then for you to also assess yourself, you've completed the exam, there's also a need for you to make sure that okay, it's very, very printable. And then one thing that I want to also tell us here is that make sure that you also save your model as well. Now I know of a colleague when he was writing the exam, something happened. Nigeria, let me say Nigeria happened to the person. There was the light went off. And then I guess he was using a desktop, and everything that he was doing just went off like that. So you want to ensure that you are saving your model. Such a person that has spent over 2 hours writing the exam, and the light just went off, and you could not recall the what he was doing, right? So please ensure that you are saving your model. And then there are techniques to it as well. You can just make it an auto save that every 1 minute or maybe after some seconds you want your model to be saved. All of this will be shared with you when you join our course or you take our definitive guide as well. Then also make sure that your model is printable. Open the exam planner tool as well. Take a look at it, feel it, use it to assess yourself. Look at it to see, oh, are you actually doing well in all of this area, right? So those are those things that will help you, and then you now score yourself. The more you keep practicing with that, the more you keep doing that, then you'll be good at it, and then that will also help you as well. Right. And for some of us, maybe you do not have knowledge of financial modeling before, you just starting your career. I know that some of us, when I asked the question earlier, you told me that you do not have knowledge of financial modeling. So our fundamentals of financial modeling is actually a very good course that you can take to have knowledge of financial model, right? Everything that you need to know about financial modeling, the knowledge part of it. Although we went into some skills, basically two things that you need the knowledge as well as a skill, right? So we did a bit of knowledge, then we incorporated a skill. Of course, if you attend this, if you take this our course, it will also help you to have the foundational knowledge that you need in building a financial model. And one thing is that you have lifetime access to it, both at the native guide as well as the fundamentals of the financial model. You have lifetime access to it. Thank you everyone for joining me today. Thank you for joining me today. I do hope you enjoy this session. So if you have any question to ask, this is a time that you have to ask your question now. So you can just go to the chat to ask your question. So if there's any question that you want to ask, just go to the chat and type your question there. So if you have any question, you can just type your question. All right, I seem not to see any question, so most likely there is no question. So don't forget that you can take our definitive AFM exam prep course. This will prepare you to take the exam as well. And don't forget all the tips that I've shared with us, why it is good for you to keep the time, why it is good for you to actually get a quiet place. That is right, but then there's a need for you to have number one, a working knowledge of the AFM body of knowledge. Also, try to take a preparatory course as well. Also, you also need to do a mock exam. Try to do a mock exam. Try to test yourself if you're ready to take the exam. And you also need that our planner tool as well. That will also help you to ensure that, oh, you are fully ready for the exam. So while I wait for our questions, if you have questions, please you can just drop your question in the chat. All right. So if you really enjoy this session, just type something. Let's feedback from you. How the session for you? What are the key takeaway from you for you? Something. Is there any question?
All right. It seems that there is no question. So, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, no question in the chat. I don't know. Probably they are still typing, or there's a lag in the internet.
Okay then.
And let's just give let's say 2 minutes. If there's no question, then we end the session.
All right. Thank you very much, Samson. Is there any question from you, Samson?
No. So hello, Babatwa. I would like you to shed more light on the forthcoming AFM mock exam slated for
Okay.
16th of July. So you can just shed more light on that.
All right. Thank you very much for the question, Samson. So the AFM mock exam, we used to take different consulting. We have a mock exam 2 weeks to the actual exam. So I think the next exam is I think 30th of July, right? I hope I'm not mistaken. All right. So it's just 2 weeks. We do the exam 2 weeks to the actual exam. Yeah, that is 30th of July. So in the exam, you have two options to take the exam. Either you want to take it as a self-paced or a proctored one. I will give you 3 hours, 30 minutes to take the exam, and you can register for the exam. The exam is free; it's free of charge. We're not collecting anything from you. And then when you register for the exam, you're going to enjoy all the free resources that you need to prepare for the exam. Because here at the Brand Consulting, we pride ourselves as being your partner to success. So we try to partner with you. We share all the resources that you need to actually make to actually succeed in the exam. However, if you feel that there's still some need for you to there's still some lag in one area or the other, then our definitive guide is actually a very good course that you can take. And also, we have a free review session that we're going to take the following day. So after the mock exam, once you're done, you've done your own bit, you've built your own model, then you come the following day for the review session. That review session is taken by myself and my colleagues who are certified as a financial modeler. They've written the exam and then they're certified as a financial modeler. They're going to take you through all the best practices as well as how they build a model as well. And if you have any question, maybe why building the model as well, right? So if you have any question why building the model, you can always come around to ask question during the review session while we share some other stuff with you. All right, I can see a question from Faith. Faith is saying, good afternoon, how can I go about registration? Now, yeah, I really do not know the registration that Faith is speaking to. Is Faith speaking about the definitive guide, or she's talking about the FMI Level 1 exam?
So I guess she is referring to the AFM mock exam that you just shed light
Okay,
on.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. So for the
So
AFM
the
mock
link is
exam,
on the chat.
all right, thank you very much. And then for the AFM mock exam, anybody can take it. Don't, right? Anybody can take it. So far as at least you have bits of exam knowledge, you have accounting knowledge, you're good. You're good to take it. Anybody can actually take the exam. You are free, and then we'll welcome as many people that want to take the exam. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, Faith. So, and then to register for it, my colleague has shared the link. My colleague has shared the link to actually register for that. So, you can just take you can just click on the link, and then you can also follow us on our social media platform as well to get updated about the exam. I hope that answers your question, Faith. All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Faith. Thank you. All right. Any other question? So just to reiterate is that if you register for the mock exam, you have free access to all the resources that you need to get yourself prepared for the exam. So we give you the planner, this planner that I displayed the other time. So you have this for free. We're gonna give you this for free, and then some other resources as well that will help you for the exam. You also be having a free, you also be having a free review session with a Moodle and a certified trainer. All right, thank you very much, Samson. I think we're good to go.
Yes, thank you, Baba Tope, for that wonderful session. I believe if there's no any further question, we'll be ending the session in few minutes.
All right. Is there a way the participants can also reach out to us? Maybe after now, maybe some of them that have questions. Is there a way they can reach out?
Yes, you can put up your contacts.
Okay, no, they can. Is there a way maybe they follow us on our social media or something that they can, how they can easily reach out to us? Right. Is there a way the participants can also reach out to us? Maybe after now, maybe some of them that have questions. Is there a way they can reach out?
Yes, you can put up your contacts.
Okay, no, they can. Uh, is there a way maybe they follow us on our social media or something that they can know how they can easily reach out to us? Is there a way they can reach out?
Yes, you can put your contacts.
Okay, no, they can. Uh, is there a way maybe they follow us on our social media or something that they can know how? Okay, all right. I think we're good. Okay, thank you everyone. Thanks for joining us. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now. Okay, all right. I think we're good.
All right, thank you, Baba Tope. See you guys later.
Okay, thank you everyone. Thanks for joining us. Do enjoy the rest of